Hi everyone, I'm so excited to do this video today on a look younger makeup tutorial, and I think this could be for anybody who's over 40. As I'm filming this, I'm actually 55 years old, so I wanted to take that scary before picture and put it on the thumbnail. Today I have some allergy looking things going on under my eyes, and I have a little bit of redness. I was hoping I would have more redness, but I don't today, to cover up in here. But hopefully that picture was scary enough to get you to click it to watch. So today I'm going to use some products. I'm looking down because I have a bunch of things on my table here with brushes all set out, and I'm going to do it as fast as possible. If I think in the editing that something's taking me too long, I'll speed it up. Like, you're not going to watch me put on mascara. Alright, so today I'm going to start with a corrector. I have, it might be hard to tell on the video, but I have pretty dark blue to purple underneath my eyes and a little bit of bagginess since I'm older and I have the allergies going on almost all the time. So I'm starting with this Pixie corrector. It's kind of an orangey color. So for me, that'll cancel out the blue / purple underneath my eyes. Now the thing is, at this age, I don't want a lot of product. I see younger people on these videos pouring on product and it looks great on them, but me, it might look great right away, but hours later it's going to look really cakey. So I'm just putting some on here. When I was 30 to 32 years old, I had eczema under my eyes and I got lines under there that have never gone away. I've never talked to a doctor about it. You know, it's just the way it is. So sometimes I'll go back with that corrector. Then I like to use my concealer before I'm using Emlyn. This comes in one color, and I'm just going to pat it on underneath. And I also use this over redness. So if I have some redness over here, which, yeah, actually I do, I'm using my makeup mirror to my right here that has very golden color lights on it. And sometimes if my nose is looking too red, and I'm just full of freckles, by the way, I'll put some on my nose. But the foundation I'm using is full coverage, so I don't need a whole lot of that. Now, I'm going to link to 2 other videos, probably on my left and right side, because I did foundation reviews. I did drugstore, which I'll put on your left, and high-end, which I'll put on your right. If you click those, they will open in a new tab on your browser, and then you can just pause them and watch them some other time. But the trick to covering this and giving a good coverage is a full coverage foundation or something that's almost full coverage but doesn't look like it. And it needs to look good at the end of the day, which is what I tested in those other videos. I would look very closely at a magnifying mirror toward the end of the day, 8 o'clock at night or so, and a lot of them were just cakey right in here. They looked horrible, and some looked fine. So I'm using my Emlyn foundation. This is in the lightest color they have, the burnished ivory. And I'm just going to dot it on. I noticed with foundations that are in a pump, sometimes one pump with some brands isn't enough. And sometimes one pump is perfectly enough. If you do 2, you get too much. And then what do you do with it? Okay, so I'm going to spread this around with my fingers. I've also found that if I get foundation here or behind my eyebrow, it looks okay at first, but later in the day it just looks horrible. So I am avoiding putting foundation in those places. So I'm going to use, after I get this spread around, I'm going to use a buffing brush. I'm going to use this Echo Tools first to stipple it in, and today I'm not using any primer. So I'm getting away without it. And now I'm just going to buff it in. And I might speed up some of this video. And then if I think, I'll take a look especially at my under eyes to see if the color looks okay. If it doesn't, I might go over it. If it's really blue, I'll go over it with a little more of this. If it's not so blue but just not looking good, I'll go over it with this Emlyn. Or I might put on a little bit more foundation. But not too much. Okay. So now, just for a little bit of contour, a tiny bit. Now this is not going to be the taupey color. I'm going to use the Sonia Kashuk, her contour stick, but I'm just going to use a little bit here and down the sides of my nose, and then I'm going to buff it in. And that's all I'm going to do with that one. Now, I've been finding that when I've been doing highlighting, it looks really good for several hours, but at the end of the day, it was looking horrible, and it was making, well, I was blaming the foundation. So I'm just going to use a little bit. So I have the Maybelline Fit Me and the number 15. And I like how it looks just a little bit around the nose and down here and here. But as a more high-end, I'm going to use my Emlyn concealer as a highlighter. And I'm not going to do the whole V thing. Normally a V would be here, just because of getting more cakiness. And you notice I'm avoiding the circle because now I have a little bit of a bag, and I want it on the outer part of that. And with this, I'll actually put a little bit down my nose. And you notice they are different colors, but that's okay. And now I'm just going to pat those in with my finger first. Maybe use a little extra on my chin. And then I'll go in with the buffing brush again. And I'll be doing more blending later. Alright, now I'm ready for some powder, and I'm going to use the loose powder. Let's see if it makes me choke this time. I'm using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. And I'll put a little bit into the cap. Just a little bit. And then first I am going to put some on my... Did I just pour that out? Oh my gosh. I was trying to show it to you. Gosh. Alright. I'm going to use this little brush first from Real Techniques and just put some under here first to set what's going on under there, and then brush it away. And then I'm going to use this big fluffy brush from Real Techniques. Try not to inhale. It's like taking a bite of a brownie that has powdered sugar on top and then inhaling. You don't want to do that. Still have a little bit left. This is a translucent powder. Alright. Not too much coffee. Alright, I'm going to do the littlest bit of contouring. This could be a step that you could skip, but I'm using the Smashbox contour kit, and I'm only going to use this brown taupey color. with the little brush it came with. I'm doing this. Trying to not get it on my hair. And I have these things going on down here. Yes, I do. I don't know what to call these. And I'll do a little bit in here, but I do have my own little indentation going on there. Okay. And after that, sometimes I blend it right away, you know, going back to this brush. I don't want to forget to do it. And then blending up here. Blending these out. Alright. And next, I'm using a bronzer. This is the Milk Chocolate by Too Faced, the one that smells like chocolate. I'm just putting on a light dusting, and my foundation is so light. I'm not doing a whole lot. Alright. Now I'm on to blush, and before I started filming I was trying to decide what colors to do. I'm wearing lavender today, so I was torn between doing a coral versus a pink. I actually like coral on me a little better, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to use this one. This is an old Paula's Select, and it's in this really mauve-y, dusty rose. And I'm only going to do that on the lower part of my cheek, and you'll notice I'll start to look very clown-like. I might even put a little bit up here, just to get a little color. Alright, and then I'm going to use this Studio Gear. This one is in Biscuit. So this one is toward a little more coral. And then to top it off, we're not done yet, I'm going to use this one that came in a Lancome gift. This is a Lancome kind of bright pink, and I'm just going to do the tops. Let's see, I'll just do the tops of my cheeks with this one. Okay, clown-like, like I said. So now I'm going to take my big fluffy brush, and I've noticed that when I think the blush looks good in my mirrors, when I watch the video back in editing, it looks terrible. It looks like I'm wearing way too much blush, which is so funny. So, I have no idea how this looks to you because I don't have a viewfinder on this side. Alright, so sometimes I notice that I brush away too much blush, and I'll go back with a little bit more, and then brush away. Okay, it's just trying to get good color without looking like a clown. So now I'm ready for just a little bit of shimmer. And I'm going to use this L eyeshadow that I got at Kohl's on sale, and this little brush. I don't need a whole lot of highlighting. And I'm just going to put it at the top of my cheek and into a little bit over the top part of the blush. And I want this to last all day because I have something to do tonight. But after this, I'm going to the farmer's market, looking just like this. And I have one more powder to do. This is powder that I haven't reviewed yet, but I might as well tell you how much I love it. This is the Too Faced Candlelight. It's just got the smallest amount of shimmer. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. And I'm using a brush that, I guess it could be a big blush brush. And I brush that on my cheeks and on my forehead, on my chin. It's not overly shiny. Okay, then look at myself in a regular mirror. And again, if I decide I don't like the blush, or I might do a little bit more, a little bit less. So that is blush. So now I'm ready for a little bit of eye primer, and I'm using the Smashbox eyeshadow primer. Just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way, and more is not better. And I'm the person who puts on her eye makeup backward. It's forward for me, but backward for other people. Oh, I'm finding some of that powder now. Alright, and I start with an eyeliner pencil. I'm using a Studio Gear in black. I sharpened it really nicely. I've watched people put it in the waterline, you know, and it's real underneath. I can't do that. Allergy person, right? So, but I'm going to line my eye underneath, and if you can't see that, I'm going to speed this up. And just putting on a small amount, but thick enough, because I have these short blonde lashes. So much eyeliner goes on dark, so after I apply it, I go over it with an eyeshadow and an angled brush, just to get rid of some of the intensity, so that I don't look like the senior citizen trying to be way too young. Alright. That's fine. And now, like I said, I go over it with an angled brush like this, and I'm using a Studio Gear taupey color called Camel. And I'll just go over that, top and bottom, and it just softens the line. And it gives a little bit of a smoky eye without being really intense. Okay. And next, I'm ready for mascara, but I'm going to edit that out of the video because you don't want that, it'll take too long. So I'll come back next in a second with mascara on. Alright, I'm ready for eyeshadow, and I was having a hard time deciding what I wanted to do, so I'm going to use a combination of this Tarte from the Tarteist and some things from the It Cosmetics. This is the Naturally Pretty. This was one that was a limited edition, and let's see, I'm going to start with some, I like to start with a base that's kind of creamy and put it on the, especially on the inner corner and under the brow. I'm trying to do something that's not too complicated. And then maybe go with a light eye today. Now, kind of interesting, in this palette they have the coral based blush, but then they've got the pink base, so that's kind of interesting. Actually, I think I am going to use a little bit of their pink. These eyeshadows have nice staying power, just to go with a lighter eye today. And trying to decide quickly. I'll also do wants to do a little bit of shine, I'll do this light shine down here from the Tarte collection, but only on my lid. I don't like shine anywhere else on my crepey eyes, so I'm just doing a little bit there. And let's see, I'll do, actually, they also have this one in the shine over here, and this is a taupe, and I'll do that only on the outer lid. So out here, and I'll blend that later. Alright, so I'm doing that like that. And let's see, probably going to go with a taupey color. I'm going to do this light taupey color they call Peace in the crease. Trying to get not too close to the mirror so that you can see what I'm doing. Easier for you to see on my left eye. Okay, I'm trying to not overdo today. I'm filming this in this late spring, so alright. Now I'm going to blend this right now. With a blending brush, and I wonder if I just blended a whole bunch of it away. There. And because I'm wearing lavender, now I have dark purples in both of these sets, in both the Tarte set and the It. I'm going to use the It, and I'm going to use this short little brush. Just put a little bit along the lash line here, and just a little bit. It's not much of an outer V. It's a tiny bit. So I don't want to overdo. Just want to do a little tiny bit, and then I'll blend it. Alright, let's see how this looks. And then I'll probably have to go back over with some of these other colors. Alright, so I'm going to go back over with, I just heard the camera turn off. It didn't completely turn off, but just, not the battery. Oh brother, that's just wild. Okay. Just going over with a little bit of stuff here. And then I'm even going to go over with that outer color, because I can't tell if it's still, it's hard to tell in this mirror with all this lighting what I'm looking at. And then It Cosmetics, even though these are, I almost said flat, like paint, you know what I mean, no shine. They've got one little shiny thing here, so I'm actually going to use this tiny little brush. I could use my finger too. I'll just go into the inner corner. And I want to make sure that all this in here is nice and light in the inner corner. And then last, I'm going to do my eyebrows. You might have noticed this, but as we women get older, our eyebrows get thinner. And I'm looking for my brush. I'm going to use this tiny little brush. I'm going to go real simple. I'm just using this Lancome dark color. They don't even sell this anymore, but they've got other colors that they sell. And I'm just going to dip a little bit in here. I keep meaning to get my eyebrow tattoos updated. It has been about 5 or 6 years and I just haven't made the appointment. And then I'm going to go over this with a spoolie just to narrow it out. And I have a spoolie here. Oh, and I'm looking at my eyeshadow thinking, if I were not filming, I'll even blend with my fingers if I need to. Just to make sure it's all blended. And I'm thinking that on video, the blush is just probably looking really intense, but it looks okay in person. Alright, and then my last thing is just look with a really close-up mirror, and on my makeup mirror, I bought at Container Store, and it's hard to show you. Maybe I'll make something fall down. I bought this little mirror that has suction cups. It's this big, and it's a 10 times mirror and magnifying mirror, and I just stuck it onto the mirror that's not a magnifier. But I look real closely, and I just brush away any little flakes of things, and take a look at my eyes real closely. And then I want to do something to my hair real quick. Now we're ready for lips, and I am going to go with these two little Bare Minerals that I got. One is a little more pinky. I'm going to layer on the lips today. And then over that, I'm going to put their lighter color. I'll link to it in the description box below. And I can't decide if I'm just going to stick with that or if I'm going to use it like this. A little bit of light gloss. Okay. Take a look at my hair here. And that's my Look Younger makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you click show more below the video and open up the description box to check out all these products. And I hope you enjoyed watching me do this today. And hopefully I do look younger than I did in the before picture. Thanks. Bye.